at 68 pounds in 23 weeks, folks. I am getting close to my goal. Hi everyone, my name is Chris Martin. Welcome to Keto with me. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the results, like the weight results in a little bit more detail. So for week 23, I lost 3 pounds. That took me to a minus 67.7. Sorry, I had to glance down at the screen, 67.7 pounds. You know, that's why I said 68 at the beginning. And then my new weight is actually 166.7. So I'm really rock solid in the middle 160, well, close to the middle 160s. I'm not seeing the 170s anymore. So I'm really tickled pink about that. If you follow my diary series, then you know I track way more than just weight. Weight's just one piece of the puzzle. I track things like sleep and carbs and every little detail. Let's just say that, tons and tons of stuff. So sleep is one of those things that, right from the get-go was very valuable to me. So, 8 hours sleep, this is a fact. I average about 8 hours sleep a night. This week I only got like an average of 7.7 for the week, but for the last several weeks it's been, right around 8 hours, and it's been, for actually, like I said, for several weeks now. So to me, that is one of the most important, actually one of the most important, because it affects everything else. So if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I live in the keto world, but I also live in the fasting world. So let me tell you about how week 23 went. So for week 23, well, last week I kind of put out there, hey, for week 23, I'm going to do alternate day fasting. So what is alternate day fasting? Well, what that looks like for, week 23 is basically, 4 consecutive 48 hour fasts, which is kind of a complicated way of saying it. I know that's 8 days, but hang on a second here. So it really is, basically I eat every other day, or you could look at it from the other perspective, I fast every other day. So, I did 4 of them, but the end of the 4th fast fell on the first day of the week 24. So you'll probably hear about that on the next one. So I really enjoyed doing the fasting for that. We'll share some numbers here shortly that talk about that, and I'll kind of reiterate like why this was very, really a cool thing to try, because it, I'm going to continue it for quite a while now. So today, I have completed 11 72-hour fasts since my start of my journey. And now with these 4, I've completed 9 48-hour fasts. And when I'm not, those I typically try to squeeze in once a week, unless it's a really, busy, stressful week or something like that. When I don't do that, I'm fasting. I only eat 1 meal a day. Even when I'm on my long fast, I only eat 1 meal a day. So, well, not technically a day, 1 meal on the day I'm not fasting. So that's the world I live in. We'll get to the numbers here in just a moment. So before we get to those numbers, I wanted to mention that the primary style of eating that I do, because there's different flavors of keto. The goal is to try to eat clean as much as possible, but sometimes you have to eat dirty things, such as, like, we call them dirty because they're multi-ingredient. They may not have something that's like you can pronounce, so I'd say 90% of what I eat is clean, and then about 10% is dirty. For example, if you don't have like a really good quality uncured pepperoni, then you're probably eating what's considered to be dirty. So we look for like natural, grass-fed, organic, things like that. Or if it's a single ingredient like squash, or hamburger or something like that, that would be, what I would call classified as, clean. And I have a video that talks about all that too, separately in the topic series. I want to talk real quick that my success is highly attributed to my ability to track. I mean, I've got lots of, that's why I had this in front of me. Oh wow, I dropped my pencils. Apparently I need 3 pencils to have in there all the time, but I track, on my own little sheets. I track, over here, I track in a spreadsheet, I track that. And I found that, this time compared to my last time, I did, keto, like 5 years ago. Last time I shotgunned it, winged it, whatever you want to call it. And it took me a long time, to get even. Never got this close in weight or any other benefit. I mean, I had benefits, but not like to this. I really just winged it. So other things that I do, I believe that help. I have goals. 20 carbs or less. Stick to keto-based macros, 75% fat, 5% carbs, 20% protein. Let's see, what else do I have in there? I'm gonna look down here at my sheet just in case I missed something. No, just being forgiving too, because even though I got a 20-gram carb goal, there's been times I bounced over it. It just happens. There's times my macros don't align perfectly with it. There's times that I had to break a fast, but I just kept going. And look, 23 weeks. 68 pounds almost, and it's proof that you can lose, you can get to where you want to go in a quicker time than you probably think, and I didn't do any exercise yet. Get to the numbers that I mentioned just a minute or two ago. So I have to look down at the screen at this, but these numbers were very impacted by the alternate day fasting. And it'll make sense when I tell you about the previous week's values compared to this week and why that probably happened. So my average carbs were like 20, which is right at the top. That's not bad. There's nothing stellar about that. It's what I've been trying to do. And sometimes I go over, most of the time I'm under. So my macros for the week was 79% fat. That's 4% above my goal. 4% carbs and 17% protein, which these are considered to be, I think, great macros. Some folks target 80 because they're really trying to raise the fat, because that does help with a lot of things. But here's the really cool stuff. This is the blood numbers. So my blood glucose average for all 7 days, remember I've only eaten 3 times during that week, was 71. Well, that makes sense, right? Because you're really nailing it. But my previous average when I would eat like 5-6 times a week was 78. So I still had a great number before, even 80s would be great. But now it's like, look at what it did. This tells me I'm probably going to keep doing this for a while, to get to my goal weight. Also, my ketones, the average, no exaggeration, 3. My average ketones for that 7 days, not just the time I was fasting, but for the 7 days was 3. So my average, the previous week average ketones was 1.9. Usually for the longest period, it was like in the low to mid 2s. So wow, it just blew it out of the water. And my Dr. Boz ratio, if you're familiar with what that is, was 24 for those 7 days. Previous week was 49. So you saw a significant change, or impact, should I say. Now, is it long lasting? No, it'll come up a little bit when I obviously don't do the alternate day fasting, but wow, I'm going to keep doing it. You'll hear me mention the diary series a lot because, that's where the details are. One of the other things too that I track, and that's that really isn't something everybody has to do, is that meditation. When I started this journey, I was like, I'm going to track this, and this, and these are, very specific things like ketones and all that. That's important for a lot of people to, pay attention to when you're on keto. But there's other things that you get benefits from, and other things you can do to kind of just generally improve. So for me, meditation was one of those. So I do 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, and I put that on my spreadsheet. I consider that to be part of, my journey. May not be a part of everybody's journey. Like some people like to exercise during it. I'm proving here that you don't need to exercise to lose weight. Once I get to my goal weight, I'm going to exercise. Matter of fact, I just made an announcement about my keto and exercise series that is starting up after the diary series ends. So for week 23, I had only 3 meals, so this should be pretty quick. So let me just tell you a little bit about those meals that I had for that week. So the first meal that I started with, actually I started on a fast, like that day was fasting. Then I ate on Thursday. For that day, we just ate leftovers, nothing like too exciting and glamorous. For Friday, fast. For Saturday, we ate spaghetti squash. You know, you don't eat a ton of it. You eat, you know, reasonable amount. You know, meatballs. You know, we kind of make keto meatballs, so I ate a bunch of those. A salad with, you know, dressing and so forth. You know, oil and vinegar dressing. Oh, I'm just like excited just thinking about it. Because I'm finishing a fast today too, so it's like I get to eat like 4 hours or so. And then on Monday, I'm sorry, that was Saturday. Sunday we fasted. On Monday, you know, we liked these uncured all beef hot dogs that we had on the 4th of July, so we went ahead and got them again. Those were delicious. By the way, they're 0 carb and taste fantastic. Matter of fact, we'll probably never buy anything different again. Because I'm not opposed to eating an all beef, you know, hot dog that has, you know, other stuff in it, because that would be considered dirty. But now that we know we have this and we can get it, and it's not like ridiculously expensive, we're going to do it. So in addition to that, I had squash zucchini cooked in butter, you know, absolutely delicious. A salad. Proof that you can have vegetables and stuff on keto and still have great results and be keto. You know, there was one of my diary series videos a long time ago that, you know, I talked about, you know, Dr. Berry, Dr. Boz, and other folks saying that, yeah, you can have vegetables. I mean, can you have every vegetable? No. You know, but you know, you would eat them like you would normally if you were in nature and you didn't have everything processed. You know, it's all reasonable and good. So those were the meals that I had for week 23. That's it. Thanks for watching week 23's video. I hope you'll, you know, stick around and come and watch, you know, the following results video. Best way to do that is to like and subscribe so you can keto with me. And as always, if you have any comments or questions, don't hesitate to leave them down below. Just remember, nobody's perfect. Be a coach, not a critic. Take care, folks.